So now the Dolphins are going to trade Jonnu Smith. I really don't understand this organization at times. We'll talk about it on today's show. Let's get after it. You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the most listened to daily Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest of all.
Come on, Dolphins fans. Time to fins up.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Thursday, May 29th. I am your host, Mike Oliva. I didn't plan on doing this show, but news broke in the past couple hours that the Miami Dolphins are contemplating trading tight end Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So figured I had to jump on and talk about this, as this is kind of a big story. And, you know, there's going to be a ripple effect here with if and when this happens, with how this team plays this year and how many games they win, because Jonnu Smith was a very big factor last season in this offense, and if he's gone, they really have nobody behind him to replace him in the tight end room. So we're going to talk about all that on today's show. First, before we get to that, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor, smash that like button, smash it. Smash the like button right now at the top. Let's get it out of the way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you can, and put up a comment on the show. Let me know if you agree with what I'm saying or if you think I'm overreacting. Let me know. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Also, shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Caneswear. Everyone go to the website, caneswear.com, for the best Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet, the most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. If you need a Miami Dolphins jersey, hat, polo, t-shirt, shorts, socks, you name it with a Miami Dolphins logo, they have it. They also have stuff for the Florida Panthers, who are going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. They got stuff for the Miami Hurricanes, the Miami Heat, the Miami Marlins, and other college teams in the state of Florida. But Caneswear, if you're in South Florida, stop by their store at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, or just go to the website, caneswear.com, for the best Miami Dolphins apparel. And one other announcement I want to make before I get to Jonnu Smith. It's that time of the year. And for the fifth year, we are running our Dolphins Talk Military Fan of the Year contest. It's year number 5. We'll be sending a current or retired military member who is a fan of the Dolphins to a Miami Dolphins home game this year. You have between now and July 7th to send in your submission. So I'm giving you a little more than a month. You have between now and July 7th. All the information is up on our website. So go to the website, DolphinsTalk.com. I also have the link on our Twitter account at Dolphins Talk there as well. You must be so here's how this works. If you win, you get 2 tickets to any Miami Dolphins home game you want this year. Home game is the key word. It's got to be a game at Hard Rock Stadium. You will also get a parking pass for us and a $100 Visa gift card. You have to get yourself to the game. So if you live in South Florida, not a problem, but you live in Rhode Island, Idaho, you're responsible for your travel, your hotel. We're just giving away the 2 tickets, the parking pass, and the Visa gift card. Again, you have to send me a short email. Let me know when and where you're served, your name, what game you want to go to. Please say what game you want to go to. Don't say, I don't care, any game. Let me know what game. And write up a quick paragraph, not more than a paragraph, of why you think you should win and be our Dolphins Talk Military Fan of the Year. We've been doing this for 5 years. It's a lot of fun to reward our service members, you know, ones who are active or ones who are retired, and give them a chance to go to a Dolphins home game on us. So for year number 5, our Military Fan of the Year contest that we run here at the website is up. Send in your submissions. You can email them to dolphinstalk1977@gmail.com. And again, all the information is up on our website. Okay, let's talk about today's main topic. News broke this afternoon around, 4 o'clock or so, from Adam Schefter, that the Dolphins have been talking to the Pittsburgh Steelers about Jonnu Smith and trading him to Pittsburgh. And it sounds like Miami's got him on the trade block. Let me read the Schefter report word for word here. Oh, I lost it. Let me get it real quick because this news kind of caught everyone by surprise. I mean, we're all waiting for Ramsey news to break June 1st, and now we got this. So Adam Schefter said the Dolphins have had trade discussions with the Pittsburgh Steelers about their lone Pro Bowl selection last year, tight end Jonnu Smith, per a league source. Those talks came after Smith expressed an interest in reworking his deal that is scheduled to pay him $4.8 million this season. With Smith seeking a new contract, Miami has sought a trade partner. Last season, Smith set the franchise record for a tight end in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Smith's preference per sources is to stay in Miami under a rework deal. Excuse me. So that's what Adam Schefter is reporting. Again, probably from an agent. Let's not be naive about this. Agent leaked this out and let it be known. So here's what we don't know. And again, just because that's what is reported doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% true. Because again, that could be an agent leaking this to paint his client in the best light, saying he wants to stay, but they don't want to pay him, to paint Miami in a negative light. When in reality, maybe Miami's offered him more than a fair raise, and he's saying no to that. So you got to read between the lines, take everything with a grain of salt here. It's about which side can get out their truth first to paint themselves in the best light. So here's what we have to know. Is Jonnu Smith forcing his way out like Ramsey did? And lots of veterans did this offseason in Miami. Campbell gone. Holland left. Ramsey's about to be gone. Mostert's gone. Armstead, he retired, but he's still gone. And is Jonnu Smith, who probably relates more to those veterans, looking around the room now in Miami going, I don't want to be on a rebuilding team. So either pay me a lot of money or trade me. That might be what's going on here. Or it's a case of Jonnu Smith saying, I'm in the final year of my deal. I want more money. And he asked them for a raise, and he asked them for an extension. Miami said no, and now we're going to trade you because if you're not happy that we said no, then you shouldn't be here. We don't know which one of those two things. If it's the first one and he wants out and he is forcing his way out in a nice professional way, playing the game in the media, have his agent leak something to Schefter, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked. If it's number two, what I said, and he wants a raise and Miami said no, then honestly, I am a little surprised that Chris Greer and the Dolphins can't find middle ground here to give Jonnu Smith a 1 or 2 year extension. The guy's going to be 30 in August. How much of a raise is he realistically looking for? Or, excuse me again, maybe they've failed to reach a middle ground, and this is where we are now. Which again, if that's where we are now, and this is the last resort where they've been trying for weeks and months, and they can't come to terms on a deal, that's very disappointing. Because look, Jonnu Smith was a nice player last year. He is a career journeyman who had the year of his life last year. If we can't find a way to pay and keep Jonnu Smith happy, there's something wrong with this organization. This is Jonnu Smith, for crying out loud. Okay, he's a nice player. He's not one of the top 5 tight ends in the league, not one of the top 10 tight ends. This is Jonnu Smith. And if we couldn't find a way to find a middle ground to keep him, there's something wrong in this front office. I'll say that. Smith will be, like I said, he will turn 30 in August, coming off the best season of his career last year with the Dolphins. 88 receptions, 884 yards, and 8 touchdowns. They cannot replace that, Miami. If he's gone and they do trade him, they cannot replace that. And you look at his stats in years prior, 2023 with the Falcons, only 50 receptions, 500 yards. So he had 30 more receptions, 300 more yards, 5 more touchdowns in 2024. 2022 with the Patriots, only 27 receptions and only 245 yards. 2021 with the Patriots, 28 receptions, 294 yards. His 2 years with the Patriots, he got 1 touchdown. 1 in 2021, 0 in 2022. He caught 8 last year in Miami. You go back to his years with the Titans, he never caught more than 448 yards, 18 receptions, 20 receptions, 35. This is a guy who had 1 good year, and he's looking to cash in, which I get from his side. He's like, I'm going to be 30. I just had the year of my life. I will never have a year like that ever again, probably. Pay me. Let's get the extension done now. Which, if I'm Miami, I'd say, Okay, he's a good guy. He showed up. He played hard no matter what last year. As long as he wasn't one of the guys who was always late to meetings that they were firing, which we don't know, but there's no indication that he was one of those guys by any means. I think we kind of know who those guys were. You can't find a middle ground to pay this guy a reasonable contract. Again, reasonable is the key word. Maybe he's not accepting reasonable, but it just leads to the question, if you're a fan of the Dolphins, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? It is May 29th, and now we're talking, and we know what's going to go on with Ramsey here in the next few days or week or so. Now we got to go through this with Jonnu Smith too, and this is the problem with the Dolphins. And what has been the problem with the Dolphins is that year to year, we go through these massive shifts and they never follow through with a plan. 1 year, it's F them picks. The next year, we're stockpiling picks. 1 year, like last year, any key player who asked for an extension and a raise got it. Ramsey, there's no need to extend you and pay you more. We'll do it anyways. Hell, there's no reason to extend and pay you more. We'll do it anyways. We'll just throw out extension and raises to anyone who pretty much asks. Now, this year, if you want one, go screw. You ain't getting a dime out of us. And we're not going to rework the deals of guys like Zach Sealer, who we can maybe extend and keep here longer. No, we're going to let him play out his current deal, which would also open up salary cap space to help us sign some players to win. Nope, not doing that. We're not going to extend someone like Jordan Brooks, who played well last year, someone you might want to stay here long term. We're not going to rework his deal, give him a little bit of a raise, extend him, keep him. No, we're not going to do that. None of this makes sense. If these massive shifts from year to year make zero sense, and that's not how good teams are run. And if we had two different general managers and a regime change in the middle, say, okay, I understand. One guy did it this way. Now we got a new guy who's doing it this way. No, it's the same guy. This is the same guy. Chris Greer never sticks to a damn plan. It's always something new year to year, and you can't win this way. This isn't a serious football organization. They don't run like good football organizations. And if you're a fan of the Dolphins who defends this incompetence still, I'm sorry to break your hearts here, but this isn't normal. This is late May, and now all of a sudden we're finding this out about our tight end in late May. You're telling me our general manager and head coach didn't know about this a month ago, which the NFL draft was 1 month ago this weekend. They didn't know about this in April to maybe say, maybe we can trade him in April, get picks in this year's draft, so maybe we can go take a tight end to replace him. So in 2025, we're not screwed in the tight end room. No, they find it out in late May after that draft already happened. Now we're going to get picks for next year's draft. And this year, we don't have a pass receiving tight end on the roster behind Jonnu Smith. Not one who you take seriously. People start telling me about Tanner. Never played, folks, okay? We know. Let's keep it a buck here. Let's keep it 100. We have no depth behind him. Farrell Brown is a good blocker. Okay. Hill gets a penalty every 2 seconds at tight end. We're not a serious football. Who's in charge? If I'm Stephen Ross, who's in charge? How did they not know about this a month ago? And it would have been a shock then. It would have been a surprise then. But at least you could say draft weekend. It's a shocker, but hey, at least we got picks back in return in this draft, and we're able to use them and replace them. Or even if you got a pick in 2025, you still had that draft to draft a tight end last month to hopefully get someone in. And, I see, some fans who I like to call the bad faith actors and the people who just, no matter what happens with the Dolphins, no matter how negative it is, how bad the news is, they will always try to put a positive spin on it to sell you the bullshit. They're bad faith actors and they're drifters at the end of the day. Well, we need blocking tight ends anyways. You didn't need one last year with his 88 receptions, 800-something yards, and 8 touchdowns. You weren't worried about blocking tight ends then. Now all of a sudden, it's like, we don't need John, and we want to get a blocking tight. People, listen to yourself. Do you really listen to yourself? And the larger question here that needs to be asked is, why are all these veterans running away from Mike McDaniel? A lot of veterans have left this team the past 2 off seasons. And, once again, I know there's that segment of fans. It's a youth movement. We're building the trenches with youth. Yeah, great. You're depending on rookies to win games and try to get you into a wild card spot. It ain't going to happen. Okay. It's just like these veterans just don't want to play for this guy. And some of it was because of money and contracts. Some of it is like Ramsey. They're just getting out of here. And I don't know what it is here with Jonnu, but we can't say for certain it's not the same type of situation as Ramsey. I know what his agent said to Schefter to try to paint him in a good light, but we don't know if that's actually true. So that is what that is. But man, it is tough being a fan of this team. It is really tough being a fan of this team. I didn't have, and I don't have high expectations for this team heading into 2025. But with news like this, and now in the next week we're going to trade Ramsey, or next week or so, and then after that, who knows what's going on here with Jonnu Smith. It is like with that secondary, with no tight end depth, a quarterback who can't stay healthy, the O-line is shaky to start with and has zero depth. And clearly the worst secondary in the NFL by a mile. And then you look at the defensive line. You got Zach Sealer, but he's surrounded by a bunch of rookies. This is a 6 or 7 win team if they're lucky. This is a 6 or 7 with that schedule. This is a 6 or 7 win team if they're lucky, because you cannot keep shipping off good players and thinking you're going to win games on the field with unknowns and all that stuff. I mean, is there any fan of the Dolphins? Take off the homer glasses. Look at your team objectively. No one's not taking away your fan card. Look at the team object. Who thinks this is a good way to do business? I mean, come on. As usually in this time of year, May, June, and July, as we get closer to training camp, end of July, first part of August, teams are looking to sign veterans to find the final missing piece to plug a hole. We have a hole here. We need someone behind that guy who might be injured. Like, they're looking to add the last piece. We're here creating more holes, creating more problems for ourselves, trading away key veteran players. I mean, it makes no sense. We're literally making more holes in late May into June to make the team worse, while other teams are adding the final piece to, put the finishing touches on the roster. We're just trading away guys we need. Man, I wouldn't trust Chris Greer to organize a one-car parade. I don't know how any Dolphins fan still defends him. I have no clue. And I know, once again, there's a segment of fans who are probably listening to me right now going, "Oh my God, Mike, it's only May. Don't say the sky is falling." Folks, open your eyes. The sky fell. Some of you don't want to believe it. You don't want to see it. The sky fell. This organization is so broken, from an injury-prone quarterback who refuses to protect himself to a head coach who doesn't adjust and never improves and has gotten worse year after year. When most head coaches learn and improve year after year, he gets worse year after year, to a general manager who's just been here too long, has no plan, and refuses to stick to any one plan longer than a season. This isn't a normal way to operate a football team. And I guess there's a chance they could come to terms here and try and keep him. But if this got into Schefter at this point, it sounds like the die has been cast. Jonnu Smith's going to be traded eventually to somebody. Pittsburgh seems like the clubhouse leader now. They don't even have a quarterback, and they're looking to improve their offense. Miami, we have a quarterback, and we're like, nah, we don't need him. Hill's coming off wrist surgery. Don't worry about it. Waddle, we got Waddle. It's fine. Achan's pretty good. After that, we're good enough. That's all we need. Like, Hill won't get hurt again. Achan, not like he'll ever get hurt often. Don't worry about Waddle, who gets up like limping after every reception. We don't need Jonnu Smith, who's coming off a great year in our system, in this Mike McDaniel offense. We've, after 8 years in the league, or how many years he's been in the league, he finally lands with a team that knows how to use him, can feed him the ball, where he becomes a productive starting NFL tight end, to the fact he made the Pro Bowl last year. He finally found a home. And Miami's like, nah, we don't need that. Why do we need him? Please. Farrell Brown. He'll block well and catch like 6 passes next year. And then we'll play Julian Hill behind him. He'll catch like 12 passes, get called for 15 penalties. We're fine. You're more worried about tight end than we are. That's your Miami Dolphins. That's your Miami Dolphins. And, once again, the bad faith actors and the grifters on social media, after this trade eventually goes through with him with somebody, they'll sit there and they'll say, we got all this cap space. Oh, we're stockpiling picks for next year. And then when we lose the first 4 games next year, they'll be crying. Like, who cares about cap space? Who cares about draft picks? You got to try and win games. That's why fans pay money. That's why fans book flights to go down to South Florida to watch a team win. That's why fans pay money for hotels and pay big money for tickets. That's why the locals pay real big money for season tickets, where they keep jacking up the prices and they keep making the parking lot smaller. They make it so hard to be a fan of this team, to spend all this money to go to games, and the product they put on the field has been miserable for 25 years. And this year looks like it's not going to get any better, as now they're going to trade away not one, which we all were expecting, but now 2 good players that we actually kind of need in late May, first part of June, before we even get to training camp. This organization is so broken. It is so broken. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It really is. But Jonnu Smith, looks like his time in Miami is coming to an end here, and we'll see how it plays out. But this is a move that's not going to help the team win more games in 2025. And there's really no one out. And I looked, who can you sign? Who's still available? We know about the cornerbacks. Asante Samuel's coming off neck surgery in April. At corner, Rasul Douglas for the Bills was terrible last year. There's no corners to sign. And then you look at the tight ends who are out there to sign. They all stink too. Like, we're going to get rid of these guys, and there's not a backup plan, or at least not a good backup plan. Let me say it that way. I'm sure Chris Greer will pump up any more. Oh, we got this guy. Excited to have him. Same thing with Mike McDaniel. And question, when is the owner actually going to step up and do a goddamn thing? When is he going to speak to the media and answer for like years of failure? And I know I'm saying this prior to the season, but really, I don't need a crystal ball to know how this is going to play out this year. I'll just end it there, I guess. We'll see where it goes with Jonnu. But it's not, if this got to Schefter like that, and that last sentence is saying, well, he doesn't want to leave, really, that's the agent putting the spin on this to make his client look good and to make the organization look bad, to make, like, we want to stay, but they don't want to pay us. It's like, no, they either forcing their way out, or they want, that's what they're doing. They're probably forcing their way out. And I really can't blame them at this point, because this organization is off the rails. It's literally off the rails. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're making too much out of this. It's only Jonnu Smith. It's only John. Like, again, how are they going to replace 88 receptions, 800 yards, and 8 touchdowns? This team was under 500 last year. Now you're losing him. Someone Tua could rely on, who could take the focus off of Hill and Waddle. Good luck. Good luck. Well, that's all for today's show. I got 2 interviews coming up here in the next few days. I already recorded both of them. They're going to be great. You're going to love them. I won't spoil who they are, but you're going to like each one of them a lot. So be on the lookout for that here in the coming days. Check out the website, DolphinsTalk.com. We got a bunch of new articles up, great content. Again, wherever you're listening to this podcast, subscribe. Shout out to everyone at the I Am a Miami Dolphins Fan Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, please be sure you are a part of that page. If you're listening to this at finheaven.com, thank you. Everyone check out finheaven.com, largest Miami Dolphins message board on the internet. And like I said, Dolphins Talk Military Fan of the Year contest. If you know a Dolphins fan who might not be aware of this contest, let them know. And it's free to send in a submission. And in the past, I've had people say, I'm not going to submit. I'm not going to win. Folks, you have no idea, because I don't pick the winner alone. Myself, Ian, Tom, Josh, Aaron, there's 5 of us. And we all read all the submissions, and then we pick the winner. You don't know what we're looking for in the winner. So if you don't think you'd have a chance to win, submit, because we are looking for that unique story, which you might not think your story is unique. One, in reality, it is. So if you're a fan of the Dolphins and you want to go to any home game this year, you have to tell us which game. Any home game. We'll give you 2 tickets, a parking pass, and a $100 Visa gift card. You have to July 7th. Email us at DolphinsTalk1977@gmail.com. All the information's up on the website. All the information's up on my social media. Send in your submission, and maybe you'll win and get an opportunity to see Miami Dolphins home game this year. And yeah, have a little fun at Hard Rock Stadium. So everyone, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you again after a while. And folks, don't forget, we must put an end to highway profanity. Hey everyone, Mike here from DolphinsTalk.com. Real quick, I just want to give a thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, just want to say thank you for all the support you provide us here at DolphinsTalk.com and have over the many years. We thank you, thank you, thank you. It's much appreciated. Without you, there would be no us. I know there are so many other podcast options out there these days, whether it's true crime, the NBA, Major League Baseball, news, politics, and of course, other Miami Dolphins podcasts as well. We really do appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day, each and every day, to watch our stuff here at DolphinsTalk.com. Also, if you like this show and want more content from us, please be sure to sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra. Go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. We have a private message board where you can interact with only extra members and ourselves here, the staff at the website. We have extra podcasts about the Dolphins and also extra podcasts not about the Miami Dolphins. And we give away a ton of prizes. We have a ton of contests that are exclusive to Dolphins Talk Extra members. We give away autographs, memorabilia, jerseys, hats, all that fun stuff. So everyone, please be sure to go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. It's $3 a month. It's really cheap. You'll have a lot of fun. Trust me. But once again, thank you so much. Everyone, have a great day.